What if your strange dreams were not just dreams, but ancient memories returning? What if the whispers you hear in silence are not imagination, but instruction from the divine? And what if the very world they mocked you for seeing was always real, and now it's rising fast? They laughed when you spoke of what you saw in your sleep, visions that shimmered just beyond language. They rolled their eyes when you tried to explain the pull in your chest, the pressure in the air, the sense that something enormous was coming. They called it paranoia, delusion, fantasy, but deep down, you always knew. You didn't imagine the shift. You felt it in your bones before the first tremor reached the surface. You heard the hum of a truth that had yet to be spoken. While others were lost in noise, you listened between the static. You noticed how the world changed. Subtly at first, then suddenly, the sky began speaking in signs. The earth trembled with secrets. The illusion of normalcy started cracking, and beneath it all, a sacred ache stirred in you, a knowing, a return. That ache wasn't confusion. It was calling. They never saw what you saw, but they will, because the veil is thinning. Prophecy is no longer a page in forgotten texts. It's alive. The signs that once lingered on the edge of your awareness are now screaming into the headlines. This isn't fear. This isn't fantasy. This is preparation. This is purpose. And if you're still watching, still listening, it's because something in you was made for this. You are not just waking up. You are being summoned. You are one of the chosen ones. Not chosen by popularity, not by platform, not by fame, but by divine alignment. You were called for this moment, handpicked by heaven to carry truth through the storm. There's a war unfolding, not of borders, but of beliefs, not of weapons, but of spirits. A battle over consciousness itself, and the chosen ones are not here to fight with chaos. They're here to anchor light, to embody clarity, to remind the world of what it's forgotten. If your heart is pounding, if you've been seeing signs you can't explain, repeating numbers, prophetic dreams, moments of deep déjà vu, then this is not a coincidence. This is your confirmation. You were meant to find this message. You were meant to rise. You are not crazy. You are not alone. You are not lost. The very truths they mocked are now unfolding in real time. The whispers you once heard in the dark are now becoming headlines. The divine warnings you felt in your gut, they're here, and God is not just revealing them. He's revealing you. You are the vessel, the messenger, the warrior cloaked in light. If this speaks to your soul, do not stay quiet. Subscribe and comment 777 below to declare your awakening, to mark your presence, to claim your place in this great rising. Because you didn't just stumble here, your soul aligned you with this moment. Many are asleep, but not you. You were built to stay awake, to stay grounded, to stay aligned with heaven when the earth begins to tremble. They laughed, yes, but they won't be laughing for long, because now what was once hidden is being revealed, and those with divine vision must step forward. You were not given eyes to remain in shadows. You were given sight to lead others out of them. Welcome, chosen one. Your calling begins now. You walk through this world as if in a dream others cannot understand. Crowds gather, voices shout, screens glow with endless distractions, but you move differently. You feel the vibration beneath their noise. You hear the silence between their words. While others laugh at chaos and mock prophecy, your soul stands still and listens. From a young age, you noticed things others missed. The shift in someone's energy, the patterns repeating in history, the unease before a tragedy. This perception wasn't accidental. You've always been wired to see clearly through the fog, even when it hurt, even when it isolated you. The world has been blindfolded, kept asleep by illusions sold as truth. News cycles hypnotize the masses. Fear is pumped into the air like perfume. People run from one distraction to another, never asking why their spirit still feels empty. But not you. You've stopped running. You've started looking deeper. Chosen ones are not special because they are perfect. They are chosen because they said yes to seeing truth, even when it cost them everything. You lost friends. You questioned your sanity. You fell to your knees asking why you felt so different, and the answer whispered back, because you were never meant to fit in. You were meant to see. Your awakening didn't start with lightning. It began quietly, nudges, synchronicities, moments of clarity. You started noticing the lies, the illusions, the false lights leading people astray. You couldn't unsee it once your eyes opened. And now, even as the world mocks those who speak truth, you hold that truth like fire in your bones. This awakening is not a trend. It's a divine unfolding. The chosen ones are being activated because the earth is shifting and time is speeding up. Each soul that wakes up adds light to the grid, clarity to the confusion. Your consciousness is rising, and with it, your power, and that is exactly why you are dangerous to the system that thrives on ignorance. Look around, conflict brewing, leaders trembling, signs appearing in the sky and earth. These are not random. You're being shown what many still refuse to see. But you must not fall into fear. Your role is not to panic. Your role is to anchor light, to remain clear, to speak when Spirit says speak. If you've felt overwhelmed lately, like the world is vibrating at a new frequency, that's because it is. You're adjusting. Your spirit is recalibrating. You're not broken. You're transforming. This discomfort is a divine recalibration, a tuning of your soul to the higher frequencies of truth and alignment. Remember this: people will always fear what they don't understand. They will mock what threatens their illusion. But your vision is sacred. Your perception is holy. You were made for this moment. You were made to be a beacon in a blindfolded world. Like this message, if you've ever felt unseen for speaking truth, because your voice matters, it echoes beyond the visible into the realms where angels record and spirit listens. Your awareness is not an accident. It is a calling. You see clearly because your soul asked for clarity. You were chosen to walk awake in a sleeping world. Let them wear their blindfolds if they wish. But you, chosen one, you were born to see beyond the veil. You were born to lead the way home. Throughout time, warnings have been whispered through prophets, seers, and ancient scriptures. They spoke of a time when man would be at war not only with nations, but with truth itself, a time when the sky would groan, the earth would tremble, and the souls of the awakened would rise to answer a higher call. That time is now. You may not realize it, but history is repeating itself. Just as in the days before great empires fell, the world today teeters on the edge of divine consequence. Spiritual laws have been violated. Greed has become God. Truth has been sold for comfort, and in the silence behind the noise, prophecy is unfolding. God never sends warnings without first preparing the vessels. You are that vessel. The chosen ones are being stirred not by fear, but by a divine recognition that the patterns of old are appearing again. War is no longer an idea. It is a frequency. It is already here, growing in energy, preparing to manifest in full. The pattern is precise. First comes the denial, then distraction, then division, and finally destruction. This is how it happened in ancient times, and this is how it's happening now. But those with eyes to see are given time to prepare, not just physically, but spiritually, because the greatest war is not external, it is internal. You are being asked to break the spell, to remember, to return to truth before the illusions collapse. There are ancient energies rising, both dark and light. Some are awakening with divine purpose, others with deceptive power. But only those rooted in God's truth will withstand the storm. Imagine walking through the ruins of a city, untouched, because you followed the divine instructions when others scoffed. Imagine stepping into your higher self, not in fear, but in full clarity. That is what you're being called into. Not just survival, but divine alignment. This coming war may shake nations, but it will also shake souls awake. You will see leaders fall, systems collapse, and secrets exposed. But amidst this, a new kingdom is rising, not built by hands, but by spirit, and the chosen ones are its architects. You have been sensing something, haven't you? A tension in the air, a message in your dreams, a pull in your chest that something big is coming. That's prophecy. Not the kind written only in books, but the kind coded into your DNA. Your ancestors knew it. Your spirit remembers it. The warning signs are everywhere now. Economic instability, global conflict, natural disasters. Even the stars are speaking, but only those tuned in can hear. And if you are still listening, it's because God has kept your frequency open for such a time as this. Don't let the mockers sway you. Don't let the noise distract you. You were called to rise in the time of prophecy, to hold light. When darkness rolls in, like thunder, you are not just watching history. You are part of the fulfillment. This is not about doom. This is about destiny. The war is real, but so is your power. And prophecy is not meant to scare. It is meant to prepare. God is not cruel. He is just. He is giving time for the chosen ones to awaken, align, and activate. And you, beloved soul, are being activated right now. Let these words not just echo in your mind, but burn in your spirit. The pattern is clear. The message is undeniable, and the time is now. Prepare your heart, strengthen your spirit. God's warning is not fear, it is grace. The chosen are rising. The war has begun. Let those with ears hear. Let those with eyes see. They laughed at you not because they knew your truth, but because they couldn't see it. Their eyes were blindfolded by ego, pride, and illusion. They mocked what they couldn't understand. When light enters a dark room, the shadows tremble, and in your presence their shadows were exposed. You were never the favorite, never the one they expected to rise. They saw your pain, your silence, your solitude, and assumed it meant weakness. But what they didn't realize is that God often hides his strongest soldiers in plain sight. And while they mocked, heaven molded you. You spoke differently, you saw through lies, you didn't fit their mold, and that terrified them. Instead of trying to understand your vision, they chose to attack it. Their laughter was a defense mechanism, a way to feel superior, even if only for a fleeting moment. But they never knew they were laughing at the one who would one day lead. They ridiculed your dreams, called your beliefs strange, told you to be realistic. They couldn't fathom that your soul had touched something beyond this world. You weren't delusional, you were divinely tuned. But their minds, shackled by fear and conformity, couldn't receive that frequency. Many chosen ones grew up in environments that crushed their spirits early on. Your gifts were misunderstood, your silence was misjudged, your empathy exploited. But all along, the divine allowed it, not to break you, but to build you. The rejection was part of your redirection. The pain of being laughed at, excluded, or mocked wasn't punishment. It was prophecy, a prophecy that you would one day rise above it all, untouched by their opinions, unbothered by their disbelief. You were born for a mission far greater than fitting into their broken systems. Those who laughed didn't know that behind your eyes burned a sacred fire. They didn't realize that their scorn was sharpening you. While they celebrated your failures, God was preparing your breakthrough. You were being seasoned in secret, trained in silence. Now, many of those who mocked you feel uneasy around you. They sense something has shifted, though they can't put it into words. Your energy disturbs their comfort, not because you're arrogant, but because you're awakening, and the awakened soul terrifies the sleeping world. Soon, they will witness what they once doubted. The same mouths that mocked will be silenced by awe, not because you sought revenge, but because you answered your calling. Your elevation will not be petty, it will be prophetic, not to prove them wrong, but to prove God right. Let their laughter echo. It has no power now. You are no longer who you were when they laughed. You have grown, evolved, transformed, and now you walk with purpose, dignity, and divine authority. The mockery was only fuel. The fire within you has already turned it into glory. Something has changed. The air feels different. Time feels quicker. Days feel shorter. There is a divine urgency in the spirit realm, and those who are truly awake can feel it vibrating in their bones. The signs from the universe are no longer subtle. They are loud, clear, and relentless. You are seeing repeated numbers everywhere. 1111, 333, 444, as if the universe is ringing a spiritual alarm. You overhear strangers say words that directly answer questions you silently asked. You see symbols, visions, and patterns that feel too aligned to be random. These are not coincidences. These are divine confirmations. God is accelerating the path of the chosen. The process that used to take decades is now unfolding in months or even weeks. Spiritual growth is no longer gradual. It's rapid and intense. What once took years to understand is now grasped in an instant. The veil is thinning and heaven is near. Something has changed. The air feels different. Time feels quicker. Days feel shorter. There is a divine urgency in the spirit realm, and those who are truly awake can feel it vibrating in their bones. The signs from the universe are no longer subtle. They are loud, clear, and relentless. You are seeing repeated numbers everywhere. 1111, 333, 444, as if the universe is ringing a spiritual alarm. You overhear strangers say words that directly answer questions you silently asked. You see symbols, visions, and patterns that feel too aligned to be random. These are not coincidences. These are divine confirmations. God is accelerating the path of the chosen. The process that used to take decades is now unfolding in months or even weeks. Spiritual growth is no longer gradual. It's rapid and intense. What once took years to understand is now grasped in an instant. The veil is thinning and heaven is near. Many of you have gone through a spiritual rebirth recently, almost as if something inside you was switched on overnight. Old wounds are resurfacing, not to hurt you but to be healed once and for all. The universe is cleansing the soul of every chosen one, preparing them for a higher purpose. Dreams are becoming prophetic, visions are becoming frequent. You are feeling surges of emotion without clear cause, waves of sadness, joy, anger, and peace, all in one day. That's because you are attuning to divine frequencies. Your spiritual senses are sharpening. You're starting to see what others cannot. Relationships are crumbling suddenly. You're being separated from those who no longer align with your mission. It feels painful, but it's necessary. God is removing distractions, cutting spiritual cords and positioning you for divine appointments. This is not the time to hold on to what he is releasing. You're also meeting people unexpectedly, souls who speak your language, who understand your journey, who feel like home even though you've just met. These are your spiritual tribe. They are arriving now because your vibration has finally matched the divine calling you've carried all along. The old world is collapsing, and the spiritual realm is expanding. And the chosen are at the center of this shift. While the external world may look chaotic, your inner world is being grounded. That's how you know you are aligned. Peace in the storm is a divine signature. You've noticed technology interfering with your energy. You feel drained in crowds, but alive in nature. You've lost interest in things that once excited you. These are signs of energetic elevation. Your soul is rejecting what is artificial and craving what is divine. The shift is happening from the inside out. Time is no longer what it used to be. Days blur, hours stretch or shrink, and synchronicities are clustering. It's as though heaven is speeding up the timeline, because it is. You are being fast-tracked into purpose. Delay is no longer allowed. The mission is urgent. The call is now. And in the middle of all this acceleration, God is asking one thing of you. Trust. Trust the nudges. Trust the discomfort. Trust the path that doesn't make logical sense but feels right in your soul. Because logic is of the mind. Purpose is of the spirit. You must walk by faith, not by sight. The world may not understand why you're changing so quickly, why you're moving differently, why you're letting go of old habits, but they're not meant to. This transformation is sacred. It's between you and God. It's a covenant sealed in fire, not meant for public explanation. The more you surrender, the clearer the signs will become. The more you align, the stronger your discernment grows. The more you listen, the more you'll be led. You are not going crazy. You are waking up. Your awakening is being accelerated because your assignment is critical. The ones who ignored the signs will soon look for guidance, and they'll come to you because you paid attention. You followed the whispers when others dismissed them. You walked away from what was comfortable and into what was divine. That obedience has not gone unnoticed by heaven. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. You are being divinely guided, divinely timed, and divinely accelerated. What took others years will take you months. What seemed impossible will manifest suddenly. Your journey is unfolding at the speed of divine alignment. This is your confirmation. If you've been feeling overwhelmed, emotional, or unusually sensitive, it's not a breakdown, it's a breakthrough. The signals are speeding up because the time is now. Get ready. Stay grounded. Stay open. The divine is moving fast, and you, chosen one, are being moved with it. The world is not what it seems. While many go about their lives consumed by distractions, a great spiritual war is unfolding behind the veil. This is not just about nations clashing or political power plays. This is about light and darkness battling for dominion over human consciousness. The Third World War will not only be fought with weapons, but also with energy, beliefs, and psychological warfare. The signs are everywhere. Global unrest, collapsing economies, digital censorship, artificial intelligence rising, moral decay, and a growing divide between truth and deception. This isn't random. These are prophetic events playing out exactly as foretold. The old systems are trembling because they can no longer hold the frequency of the awakening masses. But deeper than the chaos is a divine orchestration. Everything that's happening is leading to an awakening on a mass scale. The storm must come before the sun rises. For the chosen ones, this is not a time to fear, It is a time to prepare, because in the midst of destruction, they are being positioned to rebuild what is sacred. World War III will be multidimensional. It will be fought on battlefields, yes, but also in the spirit, in the media, in schools, in technology, and even in homes. Every level of human life will be touched. The real war is for the soul of humanity, and those who carry light will be targeted because they pose the greatest threat to the darkness. This is why your training has been so intense. The pain, the isolation, the betrayal, the spiritual attacks. It was all preparation. You were not being punished. You were being fortified. God knew what was coming, and He chose you to be awake in the midst of a sleeping world. He doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. Chosen ones are spiritual warriors. You are not meant to run. You are meant to rise. You are the ones who will hold peace when the world panics. You are the ones who will speak truth when others are silenced. You are the bridge between the seen and unseen, between heaven and earth. That is your assignment. Many of you feel the heaviness already. It's hard to explain, but you sense something big is coming. You have visions, dreams, and gut feelings that won't go away. That's your spiritual radar. God is giving you early warnings, not to make you anxious, but to make you alert. Pay attention. The Spirit is speaking louder now. In this war, confusion will be one of the enemy's greatest weapons. Mass manipulation will be disguised as unity. Lies will be painted as truth. And those who refuse to conform will be labeled as dangerous or insane. But don't be afraid of their labels. You carry divine truth, and no worldly term can define that. The coming days will test the foundations of everyone's faith. Only the rooted will remain. If your faith was built on emotion, it will crumble. But if it was built on intimacy with God, on revelation, on trust in divine timing, then you will be unshakable. Chosen ones are not just believers, they are carriers of divine authority. You must learn to discern spirits. Not everyone who speaks light carries it. Not every leader is divine. Some are wolves in disguise. Some are distractions in spiritual robes. The enemy will even use spiritual language to deceive, so your discernment must be sharper than ever. The gift of knowing will be your protection. This is also a time to fortify your spiritual armor. Prayer is not optional, it is essential. Fasting is not tradition, it is power. Meditation is not escape, it is alignment. Scripture is not history, it is prophecy. The spiritual disciplines are your weapons. Do not neglect them, for the war is already here. Don't wait for explosions to begin. The bombs have already dropped in the form of mind control, media manipulation, cultural decay, and digital illusions. The battlefield is within the human mind, and many have already surrendered without even realizing it. But the chosen ones must remain vigilant and sovereign in thought. The system is being reset. Power is being transferred. The enemy wants control of every aspect of human life, from food and health to freedom and faith. They will sell safety and take sovereignty, but not everyone will bow. The remnant will rise, and the chosen ones are at the forefront of that remnant. Even when fear floods the world, you must walk in peace. Peace is your posture. It is not passive, it is powerful. It confuses the enemy. When they expect you to panic, you'll prophesy. When they expect you to hide, you'll heal. You are here, not just to survive this war, but to anchor heaven in the midst of it. The war will intensify before it ends. False peace will be offered. Quick fixes will be tempting. But stay true. Do not compromise for comfort. Do not sell your soul for security. God will provide for His people in supernatural ways. Miracles will multiply for those who remain in alignment. Some of you will be called to lead. others to heal, some to intercede, others to create sanctuaries. Every chosen one has a role. This is not a competition, it is a collaboration of heaven on earth. Your obedience to your unique call is how we win this war, not through force, but through faith. There will be loss, yes, but there will also be resurrection. The death of the old is necessary for the birth of the new. This war is not the end, it is a transition, a portal into a new earth, a new way of living, loving, and leading. And the chosen ones are the midwives of this sacred rebirth. Prepare not in fear, but in faith. Store wisdom more than food. Sharpen your discernment more than your knives. Build community rooted in spirit, not in fear. Pray for vision, for clarity, for supernatural boldness, because when the world is shaking, your stability will point people to God. You were born for this time. You were chosen for this mission. Everything you've gone through, every tear, every test, every trial was molding you for this moment. You are not weak. You are not lost. You are equipped. Stay grounded. Stay holy. Stay ready. The war is here, but so is your victory. You did not choose this lifetime at random. Your soul, in its infinite wisdom, knew what was coming. It saw the darkness that would rise. It knew the confusion that would spread like wildfire. And still, it chose now. It chose this exact timeline, this place, this body, this storm. That means something. That means you are not here by chance. You are here on divine assignment. Your spirit signed a sacred contract long before you were born. A contract to awaken at this hour. To remember who you are, to shine when the world forgets what light is. The pressure you've been feeling, the heaviness, the sudden moments of overwhelming emotion, it's not weakness, it's activation. You are being stretched, not to break, but to expand. God is widening your capacity so you can carry more light, more clarity, more truth. Your soul is being prepared for leadership in ways your mind cannot yet comprehend. Many people are still asleep. Some will never awaken, but you did. You are, and that alone makes you rare, sacred, necessary. You are not just experiencing a spiritual awakening. You are part of a global soul movement, a divine uprising of conscious beings who have remembered their divine origin. This moment was written in your destiny. Every heartbreak, every loss, every disappointment you endured was shaping you for it. You were not meant to live a life of comfort and silence. You were meant to rise when others fall, to love when others hate, to speak truth when others are paralyzed by fear. You are a spiritual warrior, disguised in human form. Your armor is your faith, your weapon is your voice, and your path is lit by the divine. It is time to stop doubting your strength. It is time to stop apologizing for your light. You are not here to be accepted by the world. You are here to change it. There is a stirring within you, a fire that refuses to die. That is not ego, that is purpose. And if you feel this, you must not ignore it. The earth needs your voice, your family, your community, your future generations. They are counting on you to step fully into who you were always meant to be. If you've been waiting for a sign, let this be it. If you've been unsure whether to take the next step, the answer is yes. The door is open. Spirit is guiding you, but it will not force you through. You must choose it. You must say yes to your mission with every breath. Comment, I accept, if you feel the fire rising in your spirit. If you know this moment was made for you, no more waiting, no more shrinking. You've spent too long pretending to be small. The world doesn't need another shadow. It needs your brilliance. Your soul chose this moment because it knew you were ready. Even when you didn't. Even when the pain blinded you. even when you almost gave up. God kept you breathing, not just to survive, but to lead. Now is the time, not tomorrow, not someday. Now, step forward, chosen one. Claim your assignment. Anchor your light. The universe is responding to your yes. Breathe in slowly, deeper. Let the outside world fall away. You are safe in this moment. Let your body soften, your shoulders drop, your jaw unclench. Now, close your eyes, yes, even now, and begin to imagine a light, golden and pure, descending from above. It pours through the top of your head, flooding your mind, washing away every lie, every fear, every limit you've placed on yourself. The light moves down into your throat, your heart, your belly, and your spine. It anchors you, grounds you. You are not drifting anymore. You are rooted. Now, see yourself walking through fire, not burning, but transforming. Every step you take burns off the old. The small version of you fades. In its place rises your higher self, tall, calm, radiant. This version of you does not chase approval. They remember who they are, and now, so do you. Around you, the world may be chaotic, but within you there is stillness, a quiet strength, a divine knowing. This is what you carry. This is what you must return to every day. No matter what they say, no matter what the news tells you, this place of light inside you is your truth. Breathe in again. Exhale slowly. The chaos is temporary, but this peace, it is eternal. Welcome home. It can feel isolating, this path of awakening, while the world scrolls endlessly and follows trends that lead nowhere. You've been seeking meaning. You've been standing in truth. And sometimes it felt like no one else understood. But you were never meant to walk this alone. Across the world, from different lands, races, and walks of life, the chosen ones are rising. They may not know each other by name, but their spirits recognize each other. There is a code written in your soul, a divine frequency, and those who carry that same frequency are being drawn together now. You are part of a sacred family, a tribe of light, and while the world may label you strange or intense, we see you for who you truly are, powerful, divine, and essential. You are not just one candle in the dark. You are one of many torches being lit at the same time. There is a global awakening unfolding, and you are not the only one hearing the call. Millions are tuning into the same whispers from spirit. Millions are stepping away from the false light and toward divine truth. You are not an outcast. You are a forerunner of the new earth. Comment, awakened, if you've ever felt that deep, undeniable sense that your soul was different, older, wiser, destined. Say it not just for yourself, but for the others who need to see it. For those who are still hiding, still afraid, still unsure whether they truly belong. We are gathering, and every soul that rises gives strength to the whole. You do not have to carry this alone anymore. When one chosen one speaks, others feel it in their bones. When one lights a torch, others remember they have one too. Look around. The time of solitude is ending. The time of unity is beginning, and your presence matters more than you know. You are not alone. You never were. Welcome to the family. This is it. The final shift is no longer coming. It's here. The earth is trembling beneath the weight of humanity's choices. Systems are crumbling. Truth is emerging, and every soul is being asked to choose, wake up or remain asleep. Align with the divine or drown in the illusion. But God is not calling everyone. Only those whose hearts are tuned to truth will hear the signal. That's why you're here. That's why you've been stirred so deeply, because Earth's future no longer rests in the hands of politicians or corporations. It rests in the hands of the awakened. The chosen ones are not meant to escape the world, but to transform it. You are the light in the storm, the voice in the silence, the healing in the chaos. Your energy, your prayer, your intention, it ripples outward. It shifts timelines. It calls others home. You may not see it, but heaven sees it, and it's counting on you. Don't let fear steal your purpose. Don't let doubt silence your voice. You were born for this moment, shaped by fire, molded through pain, and anointed by grace. Earth is in labor, and the new world will only be born through the courage of the awakened. You are that courage. You are that hope. You are the final shift. If you've made it this far, it's not by accident. Your soul brought you here for a reason. You didn't stumble on this message by chance. It found you because you were ready to remember, ready to reclaim your light, ready to step into the mission your soul chose long before you took your first breath. The world is shifting faster than ever before. What was once hidden is being revealed. What was once mocked is now being proven true. And what once felt like isolation is turning into divine revelation. You are not just waking up, you are being activated. Everything in your life, every heartbreak, every challenge, every betrayal was preparation for this moment. You are not powerless. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be. And from this moment on, you cannot pretend to be asleep. The fire that's been lit inside you cannot be ignored. It is divine. It is sacred. And it is time. Say it out loud if you can feel this truth. I am ready. I am chosen. I am rising. The time for waiting is over. The world needs your voice. The collective needs your energy. You were not sent here to be silent in a time of war. You were sent here to shine through the smoke, to speak through the confusion, to love through the fear. If you felt unseen, unheard, or misunderstood, know this. The universe saw everything. God counted every tear, and heaven never took its eyes off you. Your angels were whispering, guiding, and protecting you all along the way, because your time is now. Your mission has begun. Subscribe now if your spirit has been stirred. Like this video if you feel the awakening in your bones, and comment "I am ready" below, not for attention but as a declaration, a divine affirmation that your soul is stepping forward. When you speak it, you activate it. Let this not just be another message you hear. Let this be the moment you fully return to yourself. The moment you walk boldly in your calling. The moment you stop shrinking, doubting, or hiding. Because the truth is, you were never small. You were never broken. You were always powerful. You were always chosen. And now, chosen one. The universe is listening. Speak your truth now.